Coulomb's law. Okay. The force of attraction and repulsion. Force attraction or repulsion is directly proportional to the product of magnitudes of the two charges, and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the two charges. So that is the statement of Coulomb's law. Okay, the force of attraction or repulsion between 2 point charges is directly proportional to the product of magnitudes of the two charges, and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the two charges. Now, suppose we have a charge Q1 and there is a charge Q2, and these are point charge. What is a point charge? Point charge is a charge whose size, charge can be on any body, so, or any object. So it is that charge whose size is much smaller than the distance separating between the two charges. So point charges, we will say, are those charges when the size of the charge is much smaller than the distance separating the two charges, then those charges are called point charge. Okay. So if distance separating the two charges is very large between two charge bodies, and we consider these charge bodies as point charges, we do not consider its dimension, because then dimension becomes very negligible. क्योंकि जो मान लीजिए आपके लिए दिल्ली और बॉम्बे की दूरी, आप बॉम्बे बहुत बड़ा है, दिल्ली बहुत बड़ा शहर है, लेकिन जब दोनों में दूरी 1500-1600 किलोमीटर है और उनकी अपना रेडियस हो सकता है कि 1 किलोमीटर हो, 2 किलोमीटर हो, तो 15-16 किलोमीटर जो है, 1500-1600 किलोमीटर बहुत ज्यादा है in comparison with 2 kilometer radius of that city. So we'll consider Bombay and Delhi as point cities. हम दोनों को करेंगे क्योंकि उन दोनों के बीच में डिस्टेंस बहुत ज्यादा है, इसलिए उन शहर का जो साइज है उसे हम पॉइंट मान लेंगे, as if they are point cities separated by a distance which is very large. So, but if the two cities are separated by say 10 kilometers, Delhi and Bombay are separated by 10 kilometers, then we cannot consider these two cities as point cities, because the distance separating the two cities is much smaller. It is comparable to the size of that city. So we should understand that Coulomb is talking about the point charges. Okay, and which charge we can call point charge? Charges, the charges which are separated by very large distance compared to the size of those charges. So we should keep this in mind. Now these are the two charges separated by a distance r. Okay, charge on charge 1 on 2 are Q1 and Q2. These are the magnitudes of the two charges. Then according to Coulomb's law, we can write down that the force that will influence this, that will act on these charges is directly proportional to the product of the magnitudes of the two charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the two charges. So combining these two, we get F proportional to Q1, Q2 divided by R square. Okay. And when we remove the proportionality, we call equal to K Q1, Q2 divided by R square. So that is the expression for force in terms of charges and the distance separating the two charges. But the distance, if the distance between the charges increases, then the force will decrease. But if the magnitude of the charges keeping the same distance increases, then the force will increase. Okay. The force directly proportional to the magnitudes, product of magnitudes, but inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the two charges. Now the value of K is 1 if we take CGS system for measurement of the values of distance and charge. So that is a smaller unit. That is, length is measured in centimeter, mass is measured in gram, and time in second. But the value of K is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught when the units of charges and the distance are SI units. In SI, the charge is measured in Coulomb, capital C, and distance is measured in meter. Okay. So this is the value of K. And we had discussed what is epsilon naught. I hope you remember this is epsilon naught. Naught, that is 0 at the base. Epsilon, it is called epsilon. So this is epsilon. This letter is used and this is called epsilon. And epsilon naught we use is called the absolute permittivity of the free space. Okay. So epsilon naught is the absolute permittivity of free space, and generally epsilon is absolute permittivity of the medium between the two charges. Okay, so if medium is free space or vacuum, so we generally use epsilon naught. For that, if the medium is other than vacuum or free space, then we use epsilon simply or just epsilon m. Any of the two we can use. Okay, so why we use this? That means the medium also has an effect on the force. तो फोर्स पे मीडियम का भी इफेक्ट होता है. कैसा मीडियम है दोनों चार्जेस के बीच में, उसका भी फोर्स पे इफेक्ट आएगा कि फोर्स कैसी होगी. इफ अगर मीडियम फ्री स्पेस है, वैक्यूम है, तो फोर्स का वैल्यू कुछ और होगा. अगर मीडियम वाटर है तो फोर्स का वैल्यू कुछ और होगा, और मीडियम कोई और गैस है तो फोर्स का वैल्यू कुछ और होगा. तो मीडियम हैज an effect on the magnitude of the force. Okay, so this is what we had already discussed, and we were discussing relative permittivity of medium. So we got this absolute permittivity of the medium. Now we'll discuss the relative permittivity of the medium. So what is relative permittivity? It is generally represented by epsilon r. R for relative. So it is the ratio of the permittivity of the absolute permittivity of the medium with respect to the absolute permittivity of free space. So epsilon upon epsilon naught, where epsilon is the absolute permittivity of the medium, can be water. Epsilon naught is the absolute permittivity of the vacuum, and epsilon r will give us the absolute permittivity or relative permittivity of the medium. So this, whenever we find out permittivity of the medium relative to the permittivity of absolute permittivity of free space or vacuum, we call it relative permittivity of the medium. So it is like how you find out the density of any substance. It is the relative density of the substance is density of the substance divided by density of the water at 4 degrees Celsius. So this also is relative permittivity of the medium. Now the units we can find out of epsilon naught, and because and epsilon r, the unit is, there is no unit, because the same units are in the numerator and same units are in the denominator. So there are no units for relative permittivity of the medium, but there is a unit for epsilon and epsilon naught. So that we can find out. So relative permittivity of the medium is the ratio of force between the two charges in vacuum. So we are finding out now force between the two charges separated by some distance r in vacuum. So we call that force Fv. To the force between the same charges placed in the medium. Now instead of vacuum, place these two charges in the medium, and we keep this separation same. We keep the distance between the two charges same. So that is what is it, keeping the same separation between them. And then we get the ratio. Then we write down the expression for Fp in the numerator, expression for Fm in the denominator. Then what we get is 1 upon epsilon naught divided by 1 upon epsilon is equal to epsilon upon epsilon naught. And this already we know is the relative permittivity of the medium. More detail. So let us discuss resistivity in more detail and how resistivity affects the how resistivity is affected by temperature. So also discuss that to some extent. So resistivity, first is definition, how to define resistivity. So resistivity is basically, it is a property of material and not the particular conductor, or the dimensions of that material or dimensions of that conductor. So resistivity is basically the property of the material of the conductor. So basically, material property of the material is its nature. What is the nature of the material? If the nature changes, resistivity also changes. Okay, and how much it will oppose the flow of charges through it will also change. and that is that depends on the nature of the material. So we discussed 4 factors on which resistance depends. If you remember, resistance depends upon length, resistance depends upon inversely upon area of friction, and nature and temperature. These are the 4 factors on which resistance depends. And nature means if it is copper, the resistance of given length of given area of cross section is different. If it is aluminium, the resistance of the same length and same area of cross section will be different because the nature has changed. Okay, so nature means different nature of the material. So let us define resistivity. Resistivity is the resistance of a conductor of unit length and unit area of cross section. So if you remember, R is equal to rho L divided by A. Rho is called the resistivity or specific resistance. Okay, so its resistance depends upon nature, length, and area of friction. So what we have said now, so again write down rho will be equal to R A divided by L. Now if I make the value of length equal to 1 unit length and unit area of section also 1, and find out the resistance. Find out the resistance. So this is 1, find out the resistance. Then what will be resistance equal to? Equal to the resistance. So if L is equal to 1, A is equal to 1, R will equal to rho. So that is what is definition for resistivity. So it is the resistance of a conductor of unit length and unit area of cross section. Now if we take unit length, unit area of cross section of copper and find out resistance. So resistance of copper is equal to rho 1 divided by 1. Then rho for copper will be equal to resistance that we have for copper. Okay, now if I take aluminium,